Hello everyone and welcome to my Lego room. I'm TJ the Brickwright, but we are not going to stay in the Lego room. We're actually going to go into the living room today to go over the Brea Class Imperial Command Cruiser. A couple of things I wanted to address real quick. The concept art that I was inspired by to build this was done by Ken LaBrosse. Hopefully you see the concept art on the screen right now. There you go. And this ship is the 2023 winner of the Brickslopes Best Star Wars Vehicle Award, which now brings my total up to 3 years in a row that I have won the Best Star Wars Vehicle. And the 4th Brickslopes in a row to win Best of something in Star Wars. My very first year there, I won 2 awards. I won the Best of Star Wars and the Best Star Wars Base, and then I have won the Best Star Wars Vehicle 3 years running. So I'm very excited, and there's no pressure going forward, right? Except for all of the pressure. But you are here to see something awesome and amazing, and I even pulled out the stops. I got out my old really nice camera, and we are going to be looking at hopefully some pretty high quality video to go over the Brea Class Imperial Command Cruiser. Here we go. This is the Brea Class Imperial Command Cruiser, and does it look like a Star Wars aircraft carrier? Yes, it does. As a matter of fact, at Brickslopes, I would tell everybody who came in who was asking about which ship was mine, I would always say it's the Star Wars aircraft carrier. And people would understand that pretty quickly of what I was talking about when they got over there. So we're going to start at the front. Obviously, you can see at the very front we have this really fun turret that's up there. It's an anti-aircraft turret, basically. And it's got full rotation. The tilt doesn't have a ton on it, but it still looks good no matter how you do it. So I didn't think it needed a ton of tilt. If we take the top off, you can actually look inside and see that this is the bridge of the ship. Now this ship has 2 command stations. There's a bridge and there's a air traffic control tower. So the bridge is for traveling and taking the ship from planet to planet. The ship was actually supposed to be like a mobile command center and would go scout out different planets to see if the Empire was interested in actually going to that planet long term. So this was kind of a scout ship. This particular one is the command version of the ship. So you have a lot of extra command and control things going on, including that conference center right there. Behind the conference center, you actually have these sliding doors. I found another mechanism that I think I like a lot better than this particular one. You can see I kind of got to use 2 hands to open it and close it, which isn't the best, but I thought it looked pretty cool, and I was happy that I actually got some sliding doors in here. And the mechanism that I used to do that was actually quite a bit different than any other mechanism I've done. It used sliding Technic pieces on Technic axles. So outside of the command center, going back towards the middle of the ship, you can see we have a couple of these Imperial guards, stormtroopers, and technicians, and the technicians kind of run the internal controls and stuff, including possibly the elevator, and I'll show you that now. So as you can see, the elevator has a little crank that you can use to make the whole thing go up and down. This is probably one of my favorite parts of the entire ship. We're going to be spending a little while looking at this, but it uses some new pieces that's found in a police training set. It has those corkscrew pieces. So here's a little bit closer look at those corkscrew pieces working. We got a little scout trooper on there that my son actually designed, based off of the scout troopers in Jedi Survivor with their stun batons. But you can see it actually works pretty good, although it does get quite a bit tiring when I'm sitting there spinning it by hand. But that's basically what it's designed to do. It's designed to just be cranked by hand, taking the guys up and down pretty quick and pretty easy. I quite enjoyed figuring that out. But for Brickslopes, I decided I would go ahead and hook up a motor, which I stole out of my dad's crane that I inherited when he passed away. And so now I can do this. And I changed the batteries right before doing the video, so the motors are flying. You can see the turntable on the other side is going nuts, but those corkscrews work extremely well. You can see I actually overdid it just a little bit, and it raised the whole air traffic control tower up a little bit. I ended up having to go underneath and make sure I didn't destroy it, but yeah, it's awesome. Now we're going to go into another part I really like. It's the ramp. If you look, there's smooth tiles on the outside and the inside of the ramp, and it's only 3 plates thick. So here we go. We're going to show a little bit more of the elevator going up and down. So it goes down through the bottom, goes past the middle level where you saw the 2 stormtrooper guards and the technicians, and all the way down to the ramp level, which is actually 1 story below the technician level. So I zoom in and out a little bit here because I was trying to show, hey, look, it actually goes all the way through, which is pretty fun. Even the inside of the ramps is a little bit decorated. And there it goes back up again. It's so much fun. It does tilt a little bit forward away from the screws. So on the corkscrew side, it's higher than on the outer side. I tried so many different times to try to straighten that out a little bit. There's maybe a couple extra things I could do, but for now I kind of got stuck. Speaking of getting stuck, as I went to go pull off the top here so you guys can see the inside of the air traffic control tower, it actually got stuck a little bit and I had to wiggle it off a little there. But I really like the shaping of the air traffic control tower, and especially the triangular windscreens. This very same piece that I used on the ATTC, but in this case I angled them outwards instead of having them flat against the ship. So inside of the air traffic control station, you can see there are 2 control consoles, and then you have a space for some kind of a commander to sit there and oversee the work of his people, which is pretty fun. The windscreens are tilted outwards, so you basically look down at the runways, I guess the landing spots. Here is a stormtrooper who can actually go all the way from the top of the ship, the top level in the air traffic control, all the way down to the middle level inside. Here is the rear gun area, the rear gun level. So this is kind of at the level of the landing pads, and you can see I've got that little white circle in there. That is the hole that goes all the way down, and I have the walking bars that go all the way down. And then this is the very bottom level. This is actually underneath the rear turret, so it's not straight down from the ladder, but this is right behind that ladder. And nice sleeping area and armory. And then we have the speeder bike area, which is where that ladder will come down. You can climb up and down. And those speeder bikes actually fit through the doorway onto the elevator and fit on the elevator and can go up and down depending on where you want to deploy them, which is pretty fun. Here we go. Here's that upper section I was telling you about. The turret on the back. This is right above those the beds, the sleeping quarters for the stormtroopers and scout troopers and stuff. One of the other features about these anti-aircraft turrets is that they are not meant to be on when the ship is traveling, so they can actually pop right off there, which actually is very important because there's a docking ring right above the doorway coming out to this gun turret, and if the gun turret's there, you can't actually dock with the ship. So it's very important that it is removed while you're flying, because if you need to use that docking ring, it's going to need to get inside there and be able to climb on. Here you can see the very rear of the ship. You can see the shield generator on one side, the antennas on the other, the 4 engines, and then you can actually see that docking ring right between the antennas and the shield generator. Here's a little view of the landing pads from inside the air traffic control tower. I'm just still so happy with how that all turned out. I'm sorry, I'm really enjoying watching this. So you can see, the guys can see all the way around, they can see through everything. And then I even have the brand new Ghost that LEGO just came out with on the landing pad. at the very front landing pad, and I'm going to show you guys what it can carry in a little bit. But here we go. Here's the outside of the ship. One of the things I was really happy to figure out is that little Imperial logo that's actually brick built. It's not a sticker or anything. Got lots of greebles all over the ship, which was really fun to do. There you can see some pretty good angles on that air traffic control. Got the antennas. There's a whole bay of antennas. I thought about doing 2 shield generators, but the ship is so small I didn't think it needed them. The little quote-unquote door going out to that gun turret is obviously too small, but you got to make sacrifices sometimes. And you can see, yeah, we've got the Imperial logo on both sides there. The 2 sides are actually quite identical, obviously, other than the battery and motor box right there. And the only asymmetry that you really get is the shield generator and antennas. Oh, here's a nice close-up of the airlock that can be used in flight when that anti-aircraft turret is not there. So here is the foot of the ship, one of 4 feet, and the ship actually sits on all 4 of the landing gear that it is on. There's still a little bit of unsightly Technic that's visible through and past the landing gear, but I'm not too worried about it. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I may throw some extra stuff to try to cover up those things in a little while, but the whole ship is actually sitting on all 4 feet, and it does not need any other supports. So when I took it from the Lego room out into the front room, I just lifted it up and put it on the table, and it requires nothing else. All right, now here we are going to show the flexing that happens when you put heavier ships on the front. It's not a lot, but I wanted to really show you how much it flexes. So yeah, you can see it just a little bit. I'm going to do it a few more times here. But yeah, just a little bit of flex. If you watch it, it goes up and down when I land the ship on it. But it is so little, and it's all held up by Lego. There's no glue. There's no extra supports. There's no steel or wood frame in the middle of it. It's all straight Lego. That's all I used in the entire build. So there you have it. That is the Brea Class Imperial Command Cruiser. When the ship would be flying through hyperspace, it could technically, well, not technically, I intended it to be able to carry TIE fighters on the ship through hyperspace, like very similar to the Gazanti cruiser. Obviously, the Ghost in this picture in this video is not to scale, minifig scale, but I wanted to show you that it can hold larger things and larger ships and heavier ships. But in reality, the Brea Class Cruiser would work as like a Gazanti. You could clamp those ships to the cruiser onto the landing pads, and it could carry them through hyperspace to get where it needed to go, so you'd have some scouts. So, well, thank you so much for checking out the Brea Class Imperial Command Cruiser. I hope you enjoyed this brief overview of the ship. Will I be making instructions for it? I don't think so. That is a huge undertaking, which is not something I'm quite prepared to do at this moment. I apologize for everybody who is like chomping at the bit and wanting me to put out those instructions. But I am currently working on the MOC 5 instructions right now. So those should be going up within the next week. I think I'll have them ready by next Saturday, which will be awesome. And then I have a few more sets of instructions that I will be working on very soon, including an update to Anduril, Flame of the West. That's going to be a fun one. But I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you again for coming and checking out my Brea Class Imperial Command Cruiser. And special thanks to Ken LaBrosse for the awesome concept art that really got my juices flowing and made me go, okay, so why would it be shaped like that? What would be on top of that? Because I couldn't see the top of the ships. And yeah, I think it worked out pretty well. I'm a really big fan of how it turned out. And even though it took a lot of money to build the ground display that was part of it and to finish up what was left on the ship, I was very happy with the end result. And I hope you enjoyed. getting a nice little tour of it. And hopefully you'll be able to come and see it in person. I will have that same ship at Brickslopes next year. My current plan is to get a New Republic ship to go against it and create a kind of earthbound, planet-bound battle. So, all right. Well, until next week, and until I see you next time in the Lego room, I'm TJ the Brick Right. Play well.